It is a standard form equation. You want to rewrite, or not rewrite, you want to find the vertex. All right, the vertex is a coordinate, hk, or xy. And you find the x value by using the formula x equals negative b over 2 times a. So let's plug in our b and our a values. We could clearly see that our b value is negative 2, so we plug in negative 2 where the b is at, and the a value is 2. So we end up with positive 2 over 4, which means that our x value is 1/2. And we would plug in that x value of 1/2 right there into the x value of your vertex. Now, if you wanted to find your y value, you got to plug in that 1/2 into the original equation in place of x. So let me go back up to this equation and let me rewrite it, but with 1/2 instead of these x's. So as you can see right here, we have 1/2 squared. What is 1/2 squared? It's not 1 actually. It's 1/4. So you have 1/4, but we have to multiply that times 2, right? And what's 1/4 times 2? You put that 2 over 1, and you end up with what? 2 over 4. And 2 over 4 is really 1/2. Okay, so this whole thing right here equals 1/2. And now how about this 2? It cancels out with that 2. You end up with a -1 and then a +1. So the -1 and +1 kind of cancel out. So your y value is 1/2 also. So your x value is 1/2. Your y value is 1/2. Now what does that look like on this graph that your vertex is at 1/2, 1/2? Well, you would go halfway out and then halfway up. So you'd be right here in the middle. Does that make sense? So once again, halfway, then halfway. So here's your vertex, and through that vertex you have a axis of symmetry running right through it. And now at this point we don't have the a value of 1, so we're going to kind of have to use the xy table. Alright, so let's plug in a number like 0, and that's easy. When you plug in 0, what do you get as an output? When you plug in 0 here and here, what do you get as an output? 1. Okay? So when you plug in 0, you get out a 1. That's the coordinate right there. Which other number would you like to plug in? Would it be smart to plug in 1? No, because if you plugged in 0, you got out 1, reflect it over to the other side, you're going to get that same answer when you plug in 1. So when you plug in 1, you're going to get out a 1. And I know that, not because I did the math, I know that because it's going to reflect to the other side. So it's pointless to plug in 1. What other number would you like to plug in? 2 would be good. If we go for 2, let's try to do this in our heads here. 2 squared? 4. 4 times 2. Okay, so let me at least keep track right there. 8. And then 2 times 2 right here, 4. So you have a -4. And then +1 at the very end. So you have 8 minus 4, which is 4, plus 1, which is 5. So let's go to the coordinate 2, 5. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Is that right? 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. Let's map it over to the other side. So mapping it over to the other side, you have 1 unit and a half. So go half and then 1. So you're right here on this one. And ladies and gentlemen, we have graphed. Whoa, that was ugly. You guys could do that better on your paper. Let's move on to the final section of this homework that will be on the quiz tomorrow. It says write an equation for a parabola with the vertex 1, 3 and passes through this point over here. Okay, so they give us two things. They give us a vertex. They want you to write an equation. So it looks like it's going to be pretty easy to write it in vertex form, especially if they give you the vertex. The vertex is really your h and your k. So let's start writing in vertex form. Y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. So far we have y equals, we don't know a yet, but we do know that the h value is what? Okay, so we're going to put the 1 in there. And the k value is what? 3. What was that?
Square.
Oh yeah, squared. I'm really sorry. Forgot about the square. Thank you very much. That's vertex form. The only thing that it's missing is A, right? So we don't know A, and we don't have a standard form equation that we started with to identify A. So right here what we need to do is use what they give you to find out what you don't know. So what else did they give you? Another coordinate, another x and y value. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the x and the y that they give us to plug it in. We're going to take this x and this y, we're going to plug it in right here and right here. That way we could solve for A. Does that make sense? So what is y? So I have negative 15 equals A. We don't know. That's what we're going to solve for. X minus 1. What is x? Negative 2 minus 1. And of course, maybe I should have put the minus 1 like that. And then squared. And then plus 3. So let's do this math. Inside parentheses, I have negative 2 minus 1. What do I get? Negative 3. And what is negative 3 squared? 9. Okay? Now, keep this in mind. We have an A out here in front. So we just said that this right here was 9, positive 9. So we really have A times 9, which is 9A, plus 3 equals negative 15. So now I have an equation that I could solve. What do I do to solve that thing? Subtract 3, subtract 3. Negative 15, take away 3. Negative 18, and that does equal 9A. So for my final step, what do? Divide by 9, divide by 9. A equals negative 2. So ladies and gentlemen, I found the A value that was missing. Remember, you want to originally write it in standard form. I mean, not standard form, vertex form. But in order for you to write it in vertex form, obviously you need a vertex, H and K, but you also need the A. And we just found the A. The A was negative 2. So just plug in your A value for negative 2. So your final answer is y equals, the A value is negative 2, parentheses x minus 1 squared plus 3. That's your vertex form equation right there, guys. Let's try, let's try the next one. So this vertex HK is negative 3, 0. So of course we're going to start with y equals A, parentheses, x minus h squared plus k. If only we knew the A value, the h value, and the k value, we would be done. We do know the h and the k. It's negative 3 and 0. But we don't know A. So let's plug in the h and k right here and here. And let's use the x and y values that they give us over here. X is 3, y is 18. And plug it into this x here and this y over here. That way we could solve for A. Does that make sense? So instead of y, what am I going to write? 18 equals A, we don't know. I'm just going to keep A as A. And then we have parentheses. Instead of x, what am I going to write? 3. And then minus h. What's that going to be? That's going to be a minus. What is h? It's negative 3, right? Now notice, I'm going to write negative 3 in there. And then squared plus k plus 0. Okay? Now why did I write minus 3? Because, yeah, at the end of it all, the minus minus changes to plus plus. So anyways, what is inside the parentheses? Let me zoom in here. Inside the parentheses, we have 3 plus 3, which is 6. Duh, how could he get that wrong? Squared plus 0. And let me zoom out so we can see the rest of this equation. We have the 18 on the other side, so we have 18 over here. And let's not forget about the A value that's right in front of the parenthesis. Okay, so we have 6 squared, which is 36, right? 6 squared is 36, times A, it's going to be 36A. 36A. We still have the plus 0, which really doesn't mean anything. equals 18. So the plus 0, you could just forget about it. It's not going to change anything. You could divide by 36, divide by 36. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have a equals 1/2. So if your a value is 1/2, that is not the answer. That only is the number that belongs in front of the parentheses on your vertex form equation. Okay, remember, vertex form is y equals a. We just found the a. So it's y equals, we said that was 1/2, right?
Yeah.
And you have the x minus h squared plus k. And we get the h and k from the vertex. So the h is -3 and the k is 0. And once again, that minus minus changes to plus plus. So this right here is your vertex form equation. That's your answer to this question.